That's what's right about people like her. Huh? Okay. All right. Okay. This needs to be over here. And I guess this one can go up. Ooh. Don't fall. Don't fall. It always falls. Okay. Wonderful. I think we're good here. Great. Right, try not to look at those. Try to look straight forward here, huh? Let's do this. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. Good morning to all of you on the east side of the world, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Myanmar, Australia. Good afternoon into the evening here in the United States. It is now 10:27 p.m. on May 3rd, 2023. So I've decided to, my goodness, I've never in my life seen the camera so perfect, except this one's a little crooked. The YouTube one, a little crooked. This urgent video is made in reference to the post on TikTok and now across the board, which says that I am suspending all life-saving programs due to budget cuts. And what does that mean? And why are we here? Why are we sadly here? So let me see where I want to start off with. Let's start off with this one, where of which about 2 to 3 months ago, I had a fentanyl case. Now, all of my students, including Novice Lee and all of the other students who were with me, got to witness the fentanyl case. That was actually recorded on YouTube. After listening to the story, and I spoke to the mother and the father, one of the hardest things ever to say to them is, do you guys have resources? If you have resources, it's time to channel that resource to the right place at the right time. And if you so happens to choose this program, then we are going to be dependent on those resources in order to facilitate life-saving programs for your child. I hope that was not an emergency. And that's why we have to suspend programs because of phone calls like that at 10 o'clock at night, some of which requires us to go to respond to emergencies, hospitals. Who knows? Someone's dying. Okay, so back to the fentanyl case. One of the hardest things ever to say to the parent, is that we don't have the resources to deploy our services effectively and efficiently like it should for your child. But typically, the mode of operation is that a presenting problem comes to us. 99% of the time, it's a suicidal student, suicidal adolescent. Adolescent is defined under 25 years old. And when they come to me, I drop everything and I go. I just go. I meet with the parents, I meet with the child, and I sit and I listen to the story based on scientific metric system, risk assessment, assessing everything across the board to see if they're truly at risk, what is the root cause of the problem, and coming up with a program most of the time cognitive behavior therapy program. And then if they're local here, then I go and check in with them. If they have transportation, then they come down. If not, I go there. Such as Project Julius, where I had to go to Tampa. So throughout my 8 years of serving, zero cost to the people, I have responded to hundreds of calls here locally and have served thousands of students across the world in different states. And so comes now, we don't have those resources anymore. I think that all of the local students here lately over the past month have been observing me, and I seem to smile less. And that hamster wheel in my head is spinning as we're sitting. You see it, right? You see it and you feel it, right?
All the time.
And then they're comparing the old G Dao and what's going on with G Dao now. Why is he sitting there so reserved, so quiet? Quite frankly, stressed. This is the path to peace. Monks are not supposed to be stressed, especially providing life-saving programs, zero cost to the public. So I sit there and I kind of beat myself up a little bit because that's what we do, right? We humans do that automatically. We sit there and we kind of scratch our head and we're like, what is happening? What is going on? And I'm just like, I go, some of the things that plays out in my head is, if they wanted to give, they would have given. Then another thing that goes is, are people even listening? Those are some of the things that plays out. Let me do this for a second. Gotta sneeze again. Ooh. Then I'm like, it must be you, which is me. I say to myself, right? That voice in my head. I'm like, it must be you. You're not effective enough. So therefore, that's why fundings have been the way that it has. Then I sit there and I battle with this lawyer in my head, and I'm like, but it's America, okay? It's an individualistic society where people all about them, me, mine, I. They don't give. So much goes through my mind in preparation for a talk like this, and I'm just like, At times, I'm at lost for words. A monk with 1.3 million followers is at lost for words. Which is profound, isn't it? At lost for words. 84,000 teachings, and I'm at lost for words. 18 years of clinical experience, and I'm lost at words. 18 years that includes all areas of medicine and law, and I'm at lost for words. I concluded that there's nothing. The problem lies is that the Vinaya, the rules for monks, 227 rules for monks, suffocates us, suffocates me. To what extent do I go in preserving the purity and integrity of the Vinaya and serving the people? And I have decided that, well, with the way how things are going, and in order to live a blameless life, under observations of other students, under observations of the world's putting me underneath the microscope. Chat GPT AI knows about me. anyone who ever have Chat GPT, the new AI system, also known as like Google on steroids, and you put Venerable Chidao, it knows about me. It has like a paragraph like this long about me. So I sit there and I go, if you tread the vinaya, someone somewhere down the line is going to write that about you. They're going to write in your biography is that Venerable Chidao, once did this, now he changed his mind, now he's doing that. He should be blamed. Or he should be praised, whatever. The goal in life is to try to live a blameless life as much as possible, period. The nail that sticks out the most gets hammered down first. And I'm trying not to be that darn nail. So therefore, I have concluded that I need to preserve the order, the Theravadan order. And it is what it is. This is the workings of karma, simply put. How does a monk serve for 8 years and still at... Hold on one second. Do you see that? 4 viewers, 5 viewers. And I took that off. But if I'm blind. Oh my, this is light. Oh, okay. Okay. That was at 22. 1.3 million followers, and that was at 22. As soon as you start talking about giving, dana, and generosity, everyone goes away. But if we get up and start twerking right now, we get 5 millions, right? If we start talking about weed right now, oh well, just for the record. All right, back on point. Funny, right? It's a measurement where you can see it. Yep. But anything about them, me, my, I, just so that you see it, register it, remember it, as the young emerging teacher of the world. Again, lost for words. Let me tell you all what I did right. From the start of my monkhood, I turned down so many offers. At the start of my monkhood, I turned down when no one's watching and when the phone's ringing. And they make all these sorts of offers. Oh, collab with us. Oh, you should sell this. Oh, you should do that. I said, no, I can't. Then they asked me, how much do you charge? Once I got that 1.3 million thing and became a celebrity monk, they were like, well, how much do you charge? And I says, I can't charge. When no one's watching, no one's listening, no one's watching, it's just me and them. Me and that company, me and that CEO. I said, I apologize. Did you realize that there was a gaming thing and they're like, what game card? You know what that is? Like how much you charge for whatever collaboration. I didn't know what it means. I was like, I'm sorry, what's a game card again? So I could have named any price, right? Throughout my 8 years, which I did, something that I am proud of. The fact that I did not misuse my robes for monetary gain. The money would have been used for the right reason, which is life-saving program, the cognitive behavioral therapy program. Right? It would have been well justified. It would have been well justified in front of Congress and the Senate all day, every day, in front of the jury all day, every day. But I didn't do it. I didn't do it, haven't done it until present day. And now these young monks are watching me. Well, I made it like that. It's always been like that. It's always been the fact that I'm going to be very transparent about what I do all the time. because we know not just within this holy order, but every other holy order, people go silent. They ghost. Anything to do with money, hush hush about it. Opens up all sorts of corruption. So I made it my own policy. See, I have policies on top of the rules. I have policies on top of policies, so that when someone cross-examines me, directly examines me, here it is. Here's the truth. And you need witnesses right here, and the rest of them that you all have seen across TikTok. That's a lot of witnesses. Um, I did it out of respect for the Vinia. I did it out of respect for the senior teachers. I did it out of respect for the monastic order because it was the right thing to do, simply put. Sometimes it can be justified, it will be justified, but it's not right in the eyes of other bhikkhus and bhikkhunis. It's not right according to the heritage of the bhikkhus. It's not right according to our tradition. It's not right according to other cultures and countries. So I didn't do it, and I'm proud of that. Obviously, here understands that I cannot use not even one penny out of any donations that is being made that goes to forth the program. And obviously, here is a direct beneficiary of that program. And so is everybody else that you all have seen on all of my social media platform. These are the featured students. Featured students are uniformly displayed without privacy issues or certain stories attached to certain humans that cannot be exposed due to certain programs that they were previously in, and or their story is too sensitive for the general public and or consent. So therefore the students that you all get to see only makes up 5% of what goes on behind the curtains of this program. How do we know this? What is the proof and evidence? Simple. The one-on-one sessions that was previously recorded in the timeline of YouTube, in the timeline of Facebook. Everything is there. It's there for the general public to study. It's there as a case study, and it's there to serve as evidence of what does he do and how does he do it and how effectively is it to curb teen suicides and increase student resiliency. You know, I tell novice Lee here that, you know, all of this comes from 21 years of studies and practice. And I said, I made it very hard for you young generations to try to beat me. And that is the task that they are charged with. They have to do so much studying so that they beat the amount of one-on-one sessions, counseling, psychotherapy. They are supposed to beat me, be better than me. I'm quite content at this stage of my life with the amount of students that I have saved and inspired so far. Oh, look, that just went down to one.
That's all.
They don't want to hear it.
That's all.
YouTube, however, receptive. Everybody else asleep. So all of you wonderful viewers are behind this camera, but we can see across all of our social media platform here. And I just want to show to obviously, this is how we know we're losing the battle in America. You see this right here? That number? Oh, that just disappeared. That's how you know that we've lost the battle in America. The prevalence of shootings every single day, mass shootings, and mass shooting is defined as when there's more than 3 or 4 victims involved, shot. We call that mass shooting. the prevalence of violence in America has rose. You just look up. Well, I need to be careful. TikTok, do not ban me for using correct adjectives to describe accurately what's happening in America. But if you look up statistics so far, the beginning of the year until now, I think we've had 400 incidences of mass blank. Let me not say it because TikTok might ban me for a week. We got children playing with Glock switches. That's been for years. We got children carrying boom booms to school. Let me show by hand, not say it because of filters, AI filters. Do I need to say more, or do you all need more evidence? And if you need more evidence, why don't you go on CNN.com? What is the function of a holy man? What is the function of holy men and women? Is to preach the gospel, preach the Holy Bible, teach you, or in Buddhism, we teach you all to live a different way, a new and different way, to ensure your sanity and peace. We were exercising earlier out the beach. We met a 60-year-old man, and I took a video of it. And all these guys, him and Eric, Novice Lee and Eric, they're into fitness. If he took off his robes, you would see, muscles. I have gained a fat pack, muscles. And so they were intrigued by this man who was quite ripped. And they wanted to show him what they could do, which is the pull-ups. The man says, "Go ahead, have at it. I'm I'm almost 60, so he's probably like 58 or 59. He's got how many kids? Two, two, three, two or three, and he's got 7 grandkids. He looks 40. He moves like he's 40. He can knock you out. Shoot, he can knock me out." And anyways, they talked for a little bit, and I looked at him and I said, "Sir, what is your secret to a happy and healthy life?" He said,
Find your peace. Cut out drama.
"You all get to see it. I will. It's right here in this phone right here. I will publish it for you all to hear him." Very profound. And it is us holy men, particularly the Theravada and Buddhist order, teaches you effectively a method on how to achieve peace, be at peace amongst all of the drama in your life, your family, your kids, your siblings, your parents, and so on. It is all of the holy orders to try to keep people calm, make sense of their world, and not to lash out like we have seen, and is still seeing. What would this world look like? Where would this world be had it not been for the function of holy men? Who are holy men, by the way? That would include rabbis, priests, bishops, archbishops, cardinals, Buddhist monks, venerables, the office of his eminences around the world, the office of his holinesses around the world, across all tradition, faith, ethnicity. When the Dalai Lama spoke to Cardinal World, the Dalai Lama says, "A special thanks to Christianity because they have contributed significantly to education. No different than Buddhism, no different than all of the other holy orders." So I hope. Let me see if I left anything out because it's getting later and we are exhausted. This conversation is also to let you all know, the slow and gradual disappearance of the programs, bit by bit, day by day, slowly and gradually. I feel, I see, and I perceive the sustainability of it. What we do need is supporters, sponsors, who have to do it on their own. We can only make a compelling case. We cannot ask for anything except a cup of water. However, that has been lacking. And it's not the first time that I have sounded the alarm on the sustainability of these programs. Either I'm speaking a language that no one understands over the past 8 years. If that is the case, how come I just received every 20 days there is an additional 100 people on YouTube? Every week there's additional 20,000 new followers on TikTok. Is it that I'm speaking a language that no one understands? It feels like it. I feel it, but the evidence suggests different. Yeah, sometimes, I get ready and stuff like that, and I'm like, you must be speaking a different language that people don't understand. Or is it the selective hearing that people don't want to hear? As soon as they hear giving and dana and generosity, they tend to just, I'm deaf to that particular teaching. I'm deaf. I'm deaf to it. Selective. You remember Officer Connie at the DMV?
Yeah.
Nice lady, right?
Yeah.
Until you mess with her.
Yeah.
And there are many times, she's got these beautiful long fingernails. She's got the hair thing going on, She just so happens to be black. And, she's one of them, she walks and she's adorable until somebody messes with her. And one time I caught it because I'm always there talking to her. And the guy comes up and, well, I ain't got no appointment. Of course, it's always appointment issues because you're supposed to go on PinellasTaxCollect.com and do the appointment. And so she's standing over here and the guy's over there and she's explaining to him, sir, you need to go on PinellasTaxCollect.com. And he interrupts her. And now he doesn't get the nice tone anymore. So I want you to interrupt me. I'm Officer Connie, and you interrupt me, okay? As I'm explaining the tax collector. Sir, you're supposed to...
I got Wi-Fi.
Are you listening? And when she said, are you listening? The whole room got quiet. And everything changes. The whole room got quiet. And everything changes. And I was like, oh. The Buddhist monk's going to go over there and pray to Jesus right now. She has such an authoritative voice that has the ability and power to detain any human just based on that sentence. Are you listening? The look in her eyes, I love it. Do monks have special powers? Can't answer that. Even if we do, we can't display it. But that woman got that special power. What does this mean? What does this have to do with anything, by the way? It means that in America, people don't know how to listen. It means that people don't know how to listen. Everyone who's listening, just examine the many arguments that we all have been in, including myself, right? Arguments. Everyone's been in arguments. And what we want to hear, selective hearing, it is what it is and it can't be what it ain't. And how we fall into delusion and paint a very different picture than what it actually really is, right? Ain't that the truth? Gaslight. Manipulation. Concocting a whole story up here and comforting oneself to actually believe that is exactly what happened. Thank goodness now we got body cams and dash cams and be like, no, boo-boo, don't get it twisted. This is what happened. This is exactly how it transpired. Not your version, but the actual solid truth and evidence that we have in our hands. It's fun. We make good detectives. Buddhist monk turned detectives. So the many challenges we holy men face in speaking to the public is that they, you know, the many factors that affect deep listening skills. I don't know, I can sit here till like 1 in the morning and tell you all the things, the factors that affect a person to do the right thing, to do what is necessary. The privilege to know, all of you have the privilege to know and a duty to act. And yet, so few act. So few act in a timely manner, so few act. One must think, why should I act? And what is the benefit of acting in giving? Hello. Yes. I'm sorry. Oh, I gotta finish this thing first. But usually I don't. Uh-huh. So I'm gonna have to call you back because I typically don't let it go live because we have a lot of foolish people who says, "Mm." So I'll call you back and we'll have a conversation because usually I don't bring people up live. I'll call you back. You're welcome. The whole room listened. I don't know. It, but why did it have to get to this point where I don't? That's the other thing that I'm alone with my thoughts is that it's so hard to tell the people about the suspensions of programs, a diminishing, dissipating program, and it's like, why did we? Well, you all remember about 6 months ago when I told you all that I watched 3 students die, one of which could have been prevented. One of them was a father, a 25-year-old father in Texas. I knew the family, I knew the mom, I knew the brother. And here's the older brother. Oh, I cried for days. I cried for days because the mother reached out to me and I said, I need you to bring him here. I need you to bring your son here so I can intervene now. It is no different, right, than the Colorado case when I told it. And before that, it was, oh God, the the mom, the dad, the 3 girls, and the son that came down from, that was Indiana. It was, I gotta figure out the states. Look, folks, thousands of students. But these were anytime when you all go back historically and you see the students come down from another state and they hang out with me for a whole week. What you all missed in the conversation was that I have found evidence, significant, immediate, imminent evidence that they're going to take their life. In that particular matter right there, the mom says they have pills in their backpack. They got caught at schools. They want to take their life. I don't know what to do. All of the counselors have failed. All of the therapists have failed. We don't know what to do. And I said, okay, well, tell me more. And then I said, okay, book the ticket. I need them here tomorrow. And that they did because they had funding and money. There's no way I had money to like pay for their tickets. We are homeless beggars. This is what this means. The Texas case, I told the mom, she's telling me, but this has been years. But it got to the point where the kid was going through a divorce with children. And I said, please, I need for you to convince him to come here. because I don't have the resource to fly there. And I had commitments here that I couldn't do it. Well, damn it. A week after that, the kid got into an argument with the wife or the ex-wife, walked on the interstate, and got hit by a car on the interstate and died. Not only he was hit multiple times by other vehicles because they thought he was debris. That's how fast it's Texas. You want to find out how Texans drive? Go ahead. We already see how Floridians drive. Yeah. Go to Miami and Orlando. Heck, right here, Tampa, Pinellas County. Come see me. Make sure you take a tank with you. And I spoke to the brother, and I shook my head, and I said, I'm sorry. Sorry for what? I'm a Buddhist monk. What am I supposed to do? I'm a Buddhist monk that barely have enough money to take care of myself and put gasoline in my car. And, um, and you know, the only thing that I have to comfort myself is the teachings on karma, which is we are where we are today as a direct result of our previous karma. So the kid got hit and killed in a very violent, horrific way. And two of the kids now gonna hear that. Now the trauma that now is inflicted on these children as they grow older, you all see the ripple effects of that. I thought that when I became a clinical Buddhist monk, is that the whole crowd, mass crowding and mass, the fundings would come from the masses of the crowd that understood. Yeah, I was dead wrong. In this particular, and that's not very enticing for the new generation of monks because now they realize that maybe I should disrobe and be a priest because you would have better luck being a priest. You would impact more change as a priest, as a Catholic priest. A priest, go be a pastor. Don't be a Buddhist monk, and obviously don't be a Buddhist monk in the clinical arena. Um, and Yeah, it's really tough. It's really hard, you know, and that's why I announced semi-retirement. Uh, 2 Sundays ago was I I to ensure my own peace. I don't think I can say no anymore to that many people who are, you know, can barely afford the phone bills just to answer phones that was coming in, just the multiple phones just within this talk alone. And I had to pick up that one because I'm not sure if that is an emergency either. I get phones all night, every night. You ask him the many times we come into the door and there's students calling to check in, and there's so many emergencies. You just don't know which one you can intervene and save, and which one is credible and which one is not credible. Then there's the spam calls, right, across our nation. So in order to ensure what I foresee in the near future, perhaps towards the end of the year, is that I would have to probably go back to full time working to cultivate the next generations of monks. And I really just want my own peace in doing that. One has to know when to stop. It's been a year since I've seen a doctor myself. Um, there's changes with me within my own 36-year-old body and the stresses that is attached to a clinical Buddhist monk. And I'm dealing with it slowly, gradually, maturely. The newer generation of monks needs healthcare, dental care, healthcare. He's a human just like the rest of us. This man is not a saint. And even if he was a saint in human realm, he would still need health care. He doesn't exempt from physical ailments. Simply put, arahantship is of the mind, not arahantship of the body. Novicely here has Florida Blue. Dr. Philip Coleman's office ran his Florida Blue, and it was inactive. Now we can sit here and go into the details of why it was inactive, but we're not. And many students that come to me don't have health care. We have to utilize a very tedious process in using the health department, which is riddled with people who are coughing, which is riddled with bacteria. All health department, Florida Health Department. Welcome to Florida Health Department. Do I need to say any more? So I have decided somewhere down the line, the ultimate sacrifice is Venerable Chidao, you take yourself, go back, use all of your wits and talents, make money, afford for their healthcare, Mang Dentistry, Pinellas Park. He needs to see a chiropractor, you know, the list goes on. We humans need the same needs as all of you: shelter, clothing, medicine. But it seems like no one really understands that. I don't know what kind of language do I need to speak Vietnamese? Actually, I do. Hmm. I don't think I belong here. I truly don't. Theravada and Buddhist monks probably don't belong in the West. Um, and my home probably resides in Southeast Asia, where Theravadans, where people know who we are, what we do, appreciate our work, and show the appreciation in the four requisites of donations: food, shelter, clothing, medicine. Here in the West, they just look at us like we're entertainment. It's like, oh, you all look great in orange. You know, you guys are, wow, must be like Halloween every day for you guys. Are you cold since your shoulder's out? It is clear with evidence that we are just entertainment here. It is irrefutable evidence that there are more people who take more and give less, flat out. And if we compare this to the East, it's indescribable how people in the East treat us. Free healthcare, by the way, free healthcare for monks. We step on a city bus, people move quickly and they prioritize. They see the value, keyword, the value of the holy men in the holy order. We give, that's what we do. We've given up our whole life to serve the people. We do it because it reminds us of the value that we bring to the world. When you give, you remind yourself your value, your worth in the world, your value you bring to the world. It cultivates self-worth. It is good medicine because at some point in a person's life, they feel worthless. Self-concept, self-value, self-esteem, self-worth. So obviously here has a lot of friends and they love talking about cars and money and fame and glory and material things because they're 21 years old. He's 21, he's got friends who are within that age group. And when you hear that, friends with money, and recently we spoke about boats, besides Dhamma studies, studying CBT, I mean, the plethora of information that he has to study, Off time, downtime, they talk about boats, and I'm like, how much is that boat again? And they're like, yeah, 500,000, quarter million, and 50,000. Excuse me, that little boat is $50,000. So it's quite enticing, right? But you see, the problem is that when you have that much amount of money and stuff like that, when you're all comfortable, just like the research in The Science of Happiness and Well-being by Dr. Laurie Santos, after 75,000, what?
Makes absolutely no difference as far as happiness.
And, like there was this one plastic surgeon on Paris by Night. Beautiful gal, by the way, beautiful Vietnamese gal, made millions as a plastic surgeon, skillful plastic surgeon. She studied, probably her family pressured her, or she went into that narrative of, if you're not a lawyer or a doctor, you're a loser. So she says, all right, I'm gonna be a doctor, and she was a darn good one too. She cultivated millions, and then she stood there on Paris by Night, and she says, I'm giving it all back to you all because I feel like my life is worthless. It's like there's no value in my life. Yeah, all of my needs are met. I have all this money, but I don't feel a sense of giving back to the world. I'm just hoarding all this money. And thus she did. She gave it all back. Well, I don't know how she's doing, but Novice Lee here, hopefully you don't have to get to that point one day and figure it out. At 21 years old, he ordained, gave it all up because he sees the intrinsic value of serving the people, giving more and taking less. As we wrap up tonight, I'd like to everyone to reflect and think that this is the first stage, which is the suspension of the program. And if we don't have fundings coming in soon, eventually the programs will be terminated. And nothing good happens there afterwards. It is indeed not a good thing when programs are terminated. I am just one small guy in this very big world. I am just one small guy trying to make a dent in the lives of young people to keep them from killing themselves, to rehabilitate them, to make them resilient, to teach them what our public school do not teach them, so that they're self-sufficient, law-abiding citizen and become leaders of tomorrow. That's my vision. That's my goal. It has come down to this point, disappointingly and regretfully, having to announce to all of you that it has come to a suspension. And hopefully, this serves as another flare being fired up in the sky. See, we're like the Titanic sinking, and I've been shooting up flares all every time when I have these type of talks, which is this makes it like the sixth talk, where of which our prayers are not answered. Why, how, I don't know. And hopefully, we have people out there who have a heart, who have deep listening skills, who sit there and reflect deeply about how they could contribute. In America, if you have a lot of money, you don't have a lot of time. If you have a lot of time, you don't have a lot of money. Those with a lot of time, they volunteer. Those with a lot of money, they give it away to the right place, to the right people, at the right time. Cancer St. Jude Foundation, the Lions Club, Kiwanis. Uh, I just, I just don't know. All I can do is hope and pray that tomorrow is going to be a new day, and the video will circulate to the right ears, to the right humans. And that's all I really can do, right? And I'm having to rearrange my priorities quickly in order to keep those who are in the program the way that it is. And I think that right now, the next generation of monks is my priority one. We're not getting any younger. And if I can cultivate a few effective monks that the world has ever seen, then I would have done my job and conclude my involvements as a teacher, as a supervising teacher. It is a daunting and challenging task, but it is a rewarding, one of the most rewarding tasks I could describe in words. So, anyways, and I just want to let all of the previous donors know. The previous donors include less than 50 people in various amounts, with the highest amounts being $700. That was one time over the past year. However, all of the collective donations, which include $50, $25, $75, most recent $75 from Bree, Sergey sent $100, and the many more that I promised earlier in the year that I was going to compile a list. The list is short, and I didn't even have time to even do that. So he will be generating certificates of appreciations for those who have donated previously. But I wanted those who previously donated to know that, I mean, look at all of your, look at all of the money that you all, what it did to rehabilitate all of the featured students on TikTok and across all of the evidence lies there. And I just want all of those who contributed small, large, medium amount, that it all went to where it needed to go. And it should put a joy onto your face, a smile on your face, knowing that these students were rehabilitated to 100%, became working adults, is paying taxes to the IRS, and becoming members, good, productive member of society, law-abiding citizens. I do not believe that they're going to relapse. That's the other thing, is that always having to be vigilant in case they do relapse. Psychological health and mental health is a very serious thing. I take that very seriously. But what can I do? I've done the best I possibly could in 8 years. Though I would like it to be 18 years, and it is unfortunate that the suspensions come effective within 8 years and not 18 years. And can you only imagine what we can do in 18 years? The amount of lives that we could change, and the amount of stories to be told. But not only that, they inspire other people. They run around, they inspire their group of friends, and it's just a lingering effect, a domino effect. How magnanimous the magnitude of that wave of positivity, the positivity of change and impact onto their peers in taking the precepts, the gift of safety to the world, a gift of safety to themselves, to our community. But it just takes a wise person to understand what we are talking about here, and what it means for each individual, and what every single one of you having the privilege to know can do about. A lot of people told me yesterday and today, maybe you should reach out to this monastery, maybe you should reach out. In this phone that I have in front of me here, there is a lot of people with a lot of money in this phone: doctors, lawyers, CEOs. I find it not appropriate to call them and say, yeah, my program is dying and I'm wondering if you can be our sponsors. Because that would be in direct violation of the Vinaya, and it is also in direct violation of my own policies on top of the Vinaya. What kind of a standard would I be setting when he's watching me do this? My rules are so strict that the title venerable has been withheld even for him. Did you know that once you are ordained, you are a venerable automatically? Yeah. I withhold that title so that his head doesn't get too big. Simply put, the next generation of monks have to be supremely disciplined, and they have to clean up the messes of all of the monks before them. And so therefore, if I'm walking this path, walk the talk, I have to set the example. It is integrity above all. It is doing the right thing above all. And that what that means for novice Lee is that we have to preserve the vinaya as best as we could, and sometimes we have to suffer the way that we do. And if it means us having to get second jobs or even three jobs like I had before, then I do it all day, every day. You will go down as the most heroic monk the world has ever seen. It's easy, is it not? It's easy asking for money, is it not? It's very easy asking for money. It's very easy dialing 10 numbers, area code, 3 in the front, 4 in the back, and says, yeah, I belong to this school and I'm wondering if you have the heart to give. Hail to the no, not the Terabat in order. Not the Terabat in order. So I will continue to screen the appropriateness of the Patreon project. But you all can see that I'm leaning to the left, which is no on it. My next talk is the effects of AI, the intersection of AI, Chat GPT, and Buddhism. Mm, technology is catching up quick. Human spirituality probably not ready for the effects and influence of AI into their lives, into the fabrics of their lives, and what I have to say about it. But you know, the these next generation of monks have a very daunting task. So as we conclude today's set, hold on one second. Before we conclude, let me bring to light how uniform and transparent the Catholic world is, have been, still are about their own expenditures. So when I was profiling Cardinal Dolan, and I have much respect for him, he is America's most affable cardinal, His Eminence Timothy Dolan. He has a very tough job as Archbishop, where of which a lot of Catholic school was shut down 8 years ago, and I believe most recently 3 years ago, maybe even this year. I just don't know. It's a very big system and unit. But I appreciate how Cardinal Dolan is very transparent about what he had to do to keep things going in the Catholic world. And because of that, it gives me somewhat of a permission to be transparent with all of you. Now, a lot of people understand the monastic expenditures within the monastic world, which is us. Monastic means mono, one, the Sangha, the unity of the Sangha, you know, the expenditures of robes, the expenditure of healthcare, the expenditure of traveling expenses, dental, the many challenges in America. That's why you don't see a lot of monks. And when last time we were down at O'Neill's Marina, near O'Neill's Marina, Maximo Park, the Laos lady says, "You all spoke perfect English. We thought you guys weren't real monks." Because why, right? Why would two perfectly spoken, well-educated monks, young men, become monks? Why do we not stay in the CEO game? Why do we not stay selling cars, jewelry, drugs, weapons, Why didn't we continue doing that? But the potential and likely chance to do that. Why did we join an order that can only ask for water? It baffled her, and it baffles many people. Why we gave up our life to serve the many, sit with the broken. So, the Catholic world obviously struggles, and it's sad to see Catholic schools being shut down, being relocated, and moving students all over around. Anytime we have that type of a change, it's impactful in a negative way for students, and only a few good beneficial things come out of it. But if they're struggling, then you can understand the magnitude of how the Buddhism world suffers, especially the rules that we have to abide by. Oh, goodness gracious. It's been an hour of talking. Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything, right?
No, I don't think so. No.
Novice here for the past couple of days have to kind of walk behind me and make sure I don't forget things because of how the hamster wheel is spinning in my head in order to figure out how I'm going to save as much as I can about what's happening within the programs. Just it like disorients me, and then I'm like, you're not very much at peace as a Buddhist monk that you are, and that you're bringing to the world. It's not a good thing that your novice monk have to go behind you and make sure you don't forget your phone, your keys, your ID. I lost my ID 3 times this month. $32 to go get a new ID at the DMV. It's terrible. So I've now lost the mindfulness aspect. As a black belt in mindfulness, I have now lost my black belt because of the many worries and the consequences there is to unfold within the suspension of the programs. That's how much I care about the programs. Much reflections for me in the forthcoming days, weeks, and months. And I am just preparing for the significant impact equivalent to the Big Bang when this, in fact, goes into termination of the programs due to lack of funding. So I hope all of you share this amongst yourselves. And however you all do fundraisings yourselves and gather up the fundings and visit the link tree and contribute, I don't know. My job is to do my job as effectively as I can, avoid praise and blame, save as much kids as I can, do what I can where I'm at with the resources available to me and with the people that I'm with. That's all I know. So at this time, I don't believe I've forgotten anything. And for those of you who are near local monasteries, now you understand the challenges that monastics have to go through. And blessed are those who stay in the monasteries or stay in the holy order to serve the people amongst these challenges. We share mutual understanding with all of you who are in robes, the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, the seminarians, the seminaries, the holy life, the consecrated life across all orders, all traditions, all religions. Don't give up. Fight the good fight, even if you have to get 3 jobs. Be a saint, be a modern day saint. And this is what it means to be one. We do it. We do it with joy. We will continue to use our mind, body, and speech because goodness always struggles. It always has been, it always will struggle to prevail over evil in the world. So I'd like to conclude my talk tonight. If I have missed anything, I'm pretty sure I will reflect on it tomorrow, compile it in a list, and give you all updates as we progress in the forthcoming days. The only thing that is not terminated and will not terminate anytime soon is the Vietnam trip, of which all of us are really looking forward to, as it generates the funding for the monastic program for the monks. That's why I got into it, because not only that a break is needed, but the program was good in regards to its monetary accumulation necessary to preserve the next generation of monks, to afford their health care, to afford their dental expenses, robes, the four requisites, and so on. But that's as far as I'm going to go with what is permissible within my jurisdiction, arena, nature, scope, and practice. Is that there's many things that I could do, that I can do, but I will not do it. Some of these young monks just wait for the teachers to mess up or to give them permission to go sideways. And no matter how desperate we are in preserving life saving programs for the right reason, we have to stand firm on our integrity in doing the right thing and cannot directly violate the Vinaya. So I appreciate some of you who are just now joining. I'd like to conclude this talk, and this talk is titled Due to Budget Cuts, We Had to Suspend Life Saving Programs. And if you're just now joining, you can go back to it once I stop the video and publish it. This is being recorded live, and it is meant to generate in the next couple of days in hope that we've made a compelling case with evidence, with historical evidence that is published across all social media platforms for the people to review, reflect on, to act, and to act quickly so that we have resources to afford, such as laptops, such as cognitive behavioral therapy books by Wilson and Branch, notebooks, backpacks, clothing, the many requisites that was utilized in the days of yesterday. And we thank all of you who have made such donations before the suspension of this program. And some of the last and few beneficiaries was Novice Lee himself, a living proof of what your money went to: clothing, backpack, laptop, for him to further his Dhamma studies and practice. And every time when they receive such resources, I tell them, and I ingrain it in their head, every time when you open this laptop up, make sure that you use it for the right reason and never tired of studying, never tired of practicing, because the whole world is waiting for you to graduate and to serve your generation and the next generation that awaits you. A student in this particular program and school of Chidao can and will not use any resources afforded to them to sit there and watch YouTube entertainment. They all must keep the precept. When a student uses resources afforded to them, for the wrong reason. They have now misused resources that could have been someone else. So this is an extremely strict program meant to ensure integrity and maximum output for the student to utilize and absorb as much teachings as possible, to reflect, to type, to copy and type, to remember, to highlight, using all best available resources so that they become the next generation of leaders that we desperately need. So, given said that, for those who would like to make a difference, who would like to practice generosity, please visit the link tree. And thank you, Doug. And thank you, Doug, for publishing that photo of Novice Lee during his ordination. And thank you for buying a badge on Instagram. Yeah, we need more people like Doug. Puts a smile on my face. And some of you have been sending messages to my phone. I will review that. I will review that here shortly. And I will get back with some of you who sent even audio, voice, and messages. I know that it's quite emotional for everyone that has been awaiting to hear such news. The many hopefuls, and I know this is a very difficult time in our economy with the rising cost of gasoline, milk, and bread. Uh, I I can't fathom how much it costs now for lunch, and we struggle stopping to eat. But when we stop to eat, it takes so much time to prepare one's own. It's like time to prepare your own food or go out to eat quickly and then go back to what we were doing. The race against time, and it seems like we couldn't move fast enough all in one day. You ever had a boring day with me before?
Can't say that I have.
And God bless my good health in order to keep up with these young folks right here and keeping up with everything like that. It's gonna be one hell of a book, right? My biography, where oh, and by the way, you have more than 400 recorded audios to listen to. More, perhaps, maybe 700 audio recordings to study from. All of my psychotherapy sessions. So make sure your little ear thing is charged up. And when you're at work, when I move all those files over so you can listen to it.
They're always charged.
I don't want to turn these videos off because I have so much to say. I know he's going to be great, the next Buddhist psychotherapist, to serve all of you. He's going to be the next one that's going to take my place. The most qualifying one to take my place. So far, don't change. Subject to change, subject to impermanence. But right now it looks promising. And he has a lot of studies. I'm trying to cram all of that in with a short amount of time. I'm trying to get him to graduate quickly, darn it. Graduate quickly. Go out and serve the people. And to sit back in my older days to just watch him cultivate other monks, the masses of orange to serve the people, the colors of wisdom, the colors of world peace, the colors of sacrifice. But thank you all for your continuous contributions. Um, I like to finally conclude the talk. So much to say, so little time. Um, we shall reconvene in the forthcoming days Oh, by the way, this Sunday there's no Sunday service. Anyone that wants to attend Sunday, we would, in lieu for Sunday, we're gonna move it to Saturday. Two special events on Sunday, which is exhausting to even think about. So anyone that is wanting to receive Dhamma teachings, if you all could so kindly text me so that I can reserve Saturdays for such matters. Um, I think that's about it. I think that's the last announcement that I have. And any suggestions or comments is welcomed on the on the comment sections on everything here. You see how my dementia's starting to set in at 11:40 p.m. So may you all be well, be happy, be free, and always be healthy. May you reflect on the teachings today. May you reflect on the urgency, the sense of urgency and imminent situation at hand. May you never tired of giving. May you reflect on giving, and besides the monetary giving, the giving of one's mind, one's speech, one's action for the benefit of other people. May you rejoice in the memory of helping others at any point in your life. May you be reminded of the value you bring to the world. May you reflect on today's teaching of giving more and taking less, as it gives rise to meaning and purpose in one's life. May you reflect what we have done for the world as inspiration and the inspiration of other monastics have walked, and that you find inspiration in that and walk the road less traveled to be different, to eradicate the me, my, and I, to practice the non self in the discourse of Anatta Lakkhana. May your heart remains open. May you be healed and be a great significant source of healing for other people. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Oh, this one cannot see the screen.